Well, hello everyone. Welcome into Flying with Mike here on Twitch. Hope y'all had a great Tuesday, and I hope your week is kicking off well. Mine so far has, there's things I could complain about. No one wants to hear them, so I don't complain about them. But anyway, we are on the ground where we left the C-40 a week or two ago. And we're going to pick up a flight that our gracious commanding officer at Sim Air Force put on for us, or for me, or for whoever. I've heard of this place, and I've heard of another place I'd like to try to find too. But Selfridge Air National Guard Base up in Michigan. So it's a nice little short, maybe 1 hour-ish flight up. We do have weather. We do not have a weather radar. So, with this plane. So, hey, a great day. We could have seen some. I really thought about saying to heck with it, change back. But then the plane I would have flown also doesn't have a radar. So, 6.5 one, half a dozen others, stick with what you got. And that's what we did. So, once again, for those of you joining us with the ad break that was running, we're flying for Sim Air Force. In the chat room, you'll see the how to join us. We'd love to have you. We are a virtual special operations group. That puts us, or is it VATSIM? I think it's VATSIM. Special Op Group. I say virtual all the time, but it should probably be VATSIM. And there's a reason for that. All flights we request all flights on VATSIM, especially your 2 hours a month you have to fly. After that, it's a fair game, but they would really like you to fly on VATSIM because this is a higher level of virtual airline flying, and I hate to use that word because it really isn't a virtual airline. We are a military group, so expect a lot different than your typical, joining it. But you can expect some of what you're used to. We have a great community here at Sim Air Force. I think we just, no, that was a while. I was going to say, I thought we just completed an air show, but I think that was a couple months ago. So, we'd love to have you. Now, what is the difference between, say, FedEx Express Virtual and Sim Air Force, or others with the VATSIM Virtual Special Op or Association? Well, very simple. If you fly for FedEx, you cannot fly formation on VATSIM, and try it anywhere else. You're fine if you can. Multiplayer, you'd be fine on. However, in VATSIM, the reason for you to be on these virtual SOAs for that is because we can fly in the special operations area, like the just escaped me, Nevada test range. Sorry about that. We can fly up in any of the MOAs and what have you, special op areas. Air refueling we can do. C-130 cargo planes and cargo planes can. Cargo drops, LAPE drops. We can air to air, air to ground. However, because we're a virtual special ops group, that means you're gonna have to play by the rules. You just don't go up, lock on a super, look, man, I'm gonna take him out. Guess what? You can get yourself knocked right off the VATSIM network permanently, and that would obviously take you out of the virtual special op group. If you want to play those games, hey, that's what DCS is for. We can lock up with each other. We can fly escorts only with each other. We cannot go up and say, hey, can I escort you here? No, you could, but you really aren't supposed to. So like I said, we fly in a whole different manner than many dare to want, because you're gonna have to fly like the military, and you all know they're a little bit more disciplined than 90% of what's on VATSIM. So, but anyway, give us a try if you're in for that. I don't mean to scare you away, but I also want to scare you away, knowing that, you know, there are reasons for these groups. So, all right, so we are in X-Plane 12. Duh, that's what you'll flying with Mike in all the time, all flights. You know, if you don't like X-Plane, hey, I get it. There are a million other sites you can go to enjoy them. I'm not going to sit here and beg you to stay. I'd like you to try it out. Yeah, I think you'll be shocked at what you get into. You're going to find a higher performance aircraft, higher performance simulation. You're just not going to be able to see your house from 10,000 feet unless you have an add-on scenery. Sorry. So, with all of that said, and I'm kind of done with the negativity of this all. Bear with me a second here. I wanted to give my phone a chance to charge a little. Then we're going to charge in. What did I click? I think I did it again wrong. Hang on. Why do I keep doing it wrong? There we go. Now I got it right. All right. Sorry about that. I like to have my chat room up. Oh, let's see here. Let me test something. Okay, I think it's working right on my phone. Obviously, if I'd have typed it in correctly. Boom. All right, we're working now. It does some weird things. Yeah, welcome to, you know, computers. What would we do without them? I remember life without them. You also be boring as could be. Not really. I wasn't bored. I mean, when I was, I found things to do that, you know, like we do now. So, but anyway, I want to get out of the negativeness and get into. Did I really have Spotify muted? No. I am sorry, folks, if for that first 4 minutes or 2 minutes you didn't hear music. I just looked up and saw that. Wow. Anyway, we're going to kick this off. We are, like I said, here in Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, Dayton, Ohio. Also, the birthplace of aviation. This is where Orville and Wilbur were born. Now, does not mean this is where aviation started. That's still down in North Carolina. However, this is where they were born. So a lot of stuff about aviation is here. And hey, if you ever do get to Dayton, Ohio, or in the area, say Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland, Toledo, hey, stop by Dayton. They have a fantastic Air Force museum, and it is going to take you from the dawn of flight to today. I believe they have some of today's aircraft, if not maybe a generation back, but you're going to be blown away with what they have preserved and have put into a museum there. I'm not going to say it's better than the Smithsonian, only because the Smithsonian includes all of aviation, not just U.S. military, although they have some other military entities in there. But get a chance, check it out, folks. Oh, did I forget to mention? I believe it's free. And so check it out. When I first saw it back in the 80s, they had 2 hangars. Now they're up to 4 hangars, and 2 of those hangars are enormous. they pack the famous B-36. And if you haven't seen it, it's famous for the saying, 6 turning, 4 burning. 6 massive prop engines, 4 jets. What a bomber. Um, and the B-52 is in there. It's just an amazing place, folks. I don't want to give too much away, but there is a lot in there. So check it out if you're here in the Dayton area. I lived here. It was an okay time back then in coming out of high school, college years. I'll say that kind of. I don't know what it's like today. Some nearly 40 years later. So, all right, let's get into birds, shall we, and get this thing going. We've wasted enough time. All right, and we made it nighttime. Ooh, spooky. No, not really. Now, the bad thing is, like I said, no radar. One downside with the flight factor 767. The radar and terrain radar system seems to cause the aircraft to crash to desktop unexpectedly, unannounced, no error messages in the log. As to why. Sometimes 5 minutes after departure, 10 minutes, sometimes a minute or two from the airport, just out of the blue, goes away. There's 2 cures for it. We did one on our last 767 flight. That was just not turn them on, period. Leave them off. The other, in case you got muscle memory that just has to turn radars on, is go into your X-plane folder, look for the aircraft folder, look for the 767 folder. In there, you will find a plug-in folder. In the plug-in folder, delete or remove the Tango Golf Delta Sierra TGDS folder. I delete it. If I need it back, run the updater. But and that'll cure it too. So either way seems to work. We'll do it again. It's still in here. By the grace of God, I will remember to keep it off. So, all right. So let's get going. We have the aircraft powered onto the ground power at this time. All right. And very simple how this aircraft works. Some people like it. Some people hate it. You have to have doors open. You have to have equipment to the plane. Last I checked in the real world, the same thing has to happen or nothing gets in the plane, especially if you don't have the doors open. Come on. However, I do know in the flight sim world, a lot of these aircraft do not require that. I get it. So I see where you're a little upset with it. But to me, that's what's needed to get the plane loaded in the real world. I think that's a step in the right direction of realism. Now, if you're in a hurry, it's just 30 seconds to a minute. So, sorry. All right, so let's do it. Real quick, I'll show you where you go. You can either go to plugins, 767, 757, 767 EFB, or the pilot's left knee. First officer, I believe, has one too on his right knee. That could be wrong. Yeah, he has one too. So either way, pull it up. We go from there. And we're going to kind of move quickly because I'd like to get this flight. It's the only flight I really do plan to fly tonight. So hopefully this will help re-jog some memories. I know a lot of people like me don't fly it that much anymore because of that CTD problem. Hopefully Flight Factor will fix. I was really hoping they'd have it fixed by 3.0 with X-Plane 12. I was wrong. The 777 still outweighs all the rest of the fleet. Stairs, chocks. Okay, You need the stairs, you need the LSU. I put the ground power unit on, but you gotta have the aircraft powered up, a fuel truck, and the loader unit. Then you go to ops, airplane. I just do the easy one, open all. And that's what you get out here. Now, I put the air conditioner on it, the chocks on it, the GPU, just for my realism, okay? You don't have to. So, anyway, now, once you're there, let's go back to ops ground. All right, now, the tricky part. Now, this is a little tricky. You do it once or twice, piece of cake, okay? But you gotta understand one thing. First off, oh, I see it at the top. Very important. And now, if you want the KC-46, all you're gonna get is a great paint scheme. That's it. No air refueling boom, and if you did, it wouldn't work. No air refuel drogues out on the wingtips and such like that. Unfortunately, no. And I wish we could and would, but one, I don't know how to do that. Two, I just wish we could, but we don't. However, out there is some really good liveries for this KC-46, and I have them, but to use them, once you put them in the livery folder, it covers all the 767s you have, okay? This livery works with the 767 SF, okay, Pratt & Whitney. If you're a diehard GE fan, and I know there are some out there, if it does not have GE, I can't fly it. It's just outrageous. Put them on. They'll be white. That's it. They'll just look white versus the Air Force gray that everything else is. I do know people that just flat out, it has to be GE, or it has to be Pratt & Whitney, or in the case of some of the others, Rolls-Royce. God, I don't know why you want that engine, but okay. Oh well, to each their own on that. So just know that if you have it in GE, it'll be white. Bad thing is, once you start up, you can't change a thing on here. And of course, there's no winglets. So that's the Air Force way. Now, one thing you can, that I know of, you cannot disable. This aircraft, along with the KC latest versions of the KC-135, I believe our model, but I could be wrong, no reverse thrust. I can already hear, what? Yeah, they do not have reverse thrust. My dad, who was an airline pilot, of course they have reverse thrust. They just have fins and everything. No. No reverse thrust. That's kind of a bummer, but it's what the Air Force ordered and the Air Force wanted, and the Air Force got what it ordered and wanted. So, no reverse thrust. Now, hang on. Again, you diehards out there, settle down. Nothing says you can't use it. Like I said, I don't know how to disable it, so that it can be for those diehard real guys that have to have it all real. Just don't use it, or use it. You know, it doesn't matter. We're in a sim world. Lighten up, Francis. Very famous line from Stripes. Great movie too. So anyway, just a quick overview of the airplane. All right. Now, where's the trickiness to it? In the cargo version, which is what the SF is, and the 767-300 freighter, they're both freighters. The passenger version, you do not have to worry about this, because you don't have pallets. All right, so you got a pallet number here and a cargo weight. When you first come in, you're going to go, oh, I want 4,000 pounds on each cargo of each pallet in my plane. So I'll put, we'll say 12 pallets at 4,000 pounds. Won't work that way, folks. Flight Factor has set this aircraft up that each pallet, so each numbered pallet is 9,800 pounds. So one is 98, and you get the times 2 times 3 down the line. So here's what Captain Mike does. I go in with my sim brief. Here, let's pull it up. Let's just pull it up. Stand by. I'm a little... There's Sim Toolkit. All right. Oh, by the way, see, it would have been nice to have radar. Anyway, let's just go to Sim Brief. Now, I have it tied to Sim Toolkit, which, by the way, is completely free. I have yet to find a single thing in it that is payware. Thank you, developers of Sim Toolkit. All right, let's go to our flight. Now, I could click View here, but I'm just going to go here, View Flight Plan. All right, there you go. Pretty simple, right? All right, come down here. Now, normally I would work from this number right here, payload. Something's a little off on mine. I think it sits right here, and I got to update that. I think I said that last time, which was several months ago. So instead, I do have an alternate plan for you. All right, now if you look over here, you can see right now we're loaded. By the way, we're not plane is not loaded yet. So we have a pallet number of 3, cargo weight 2180. That is not 2,180 pounds each pallet. Each pallet, like I said, is 9,800 pounds. So what I do, take the estimated zero fuel weight, subtract it from the zero fuel weight with 0 and 0. That's going to give you a number. Divide it by 9,800. Does help to have that $1 million super calculator that NASA uses to get it perfect. No, go to Walmart, get a dime calculator, and you'll be fine. All right. Now, you'll see, just take the number to the left of the decimal, 3, stick it in there. All right, now you're going to have seen the zero fuel weight down here change. Let's do it again. Subtract the estimated zero fuel weight in SimBrief from the zero fuel weight in your plane. That number will be very specific for some of you mathematics majors out there. The difference is right here. Like how I did that. I know. Oh, we've had too much school today. Stop it. But seriously, that's all you got to do, and that's how you load it. Then stick whatever the fuel weight is into the fuel weight. Boom, you're done. Now, these are steps I do. I will click maintenance. So that way the aircraft has maintenance performed on it. You cannot do this in flight, just in case there is something screwed up. I will also optimize the CG, which I've already done. And then we load. And you'll hear people and cargo loading. Either Flight Factor's not smart enough to delineate it, or it's too hard to program. I'll lean to the latter. I think they're pretty smart. I just wish they would keep up with the 767 A350 that they currently have and not throw them to the back burner like they do. All right, you can get rid of this, and we're going to continue on. All right, so back up here. Here's where we start. Sorry, I do have sometimes some coughing. All right, turn your battery on. You gotta lift the flap to turn the battery on. Put the flaps down. Duluth fly, your sim brief is still up. It might just very well be for a reason, sir. But no, seriously, thank you. Welcome in, sir. All right, so the battery switch, got to flip the flap up, push it on, put the flap down. Do that on anything with a flap because that means it takes 2 clicks to make it do what you want. Isn't that amazing? It's an overhead of the cockpit. Ooh. All right. Turn your standby power to auto, bus ties to turn them on, utilities, turn them on. Now, I talk about this down here. Do not lift flaps and push buttons here to turn on the gen connects. You are disconnecting the generators from the engines. Airplane don't like that. Click them on the outside. Right, when that noise in the background, the loading, the people and all ends and your fuel is at where you set it, you're loaded. Or you can check the EFB and it'll say plane is now loaded. Set your lights the way you like them. I go a few steps more than my checklist. I forgot the emergency lights. I make sure my EECs, electric engine controllers, are on. My 1 and 2C electric pumps are on. My demands are auto. And my window heat is on. And then I just put everything to auto here and turn on trim air and recirc. I think we're, whoa, yeah, I think we're about loaded. Yeah, we are. About another 1,000 pounds. That's the basics. Now we go to alignment. Now with Boeing, you can turn them all on because each one has their own on DC. That's actually a very big check. If you lose the generators on those big engines and the generator on your APU, the airplane will still know where it is. And you can go, help, we're at coordinates, blah, 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 blah. And the Coast Guard can translate that. No. Anyway, 17.8, he's here, it's quiet, so we're loaded. Cool. Technically, I could go back and start closing things up and all of that. I'm going to go ahead, kick the APU on. Now, you are going to find things move super fast in this plane. For instance, I think we're going to be already 100% by just that screw up and coming back up. Again, something I wish Flight Factor would listen to and correct. Okay, we're going to go ahead and come off ground power. Just the switch over is the flickering. And we'll turn that fuel pump on, turn the isolation valves on. And the APU bleed. All right. Now I can actually go out. Okay, so we got that available. In this plane, really turn off the external power here first. With the APU gen on, if you don't, when this plane does that, you know, shuts down and then you go, oh my gosh, got to get it back on. You may have lost, you will probably lose your flight. So you have to reload everything in. Short flight, that's piece of cake. Long flights that this plane can fly, that really sucks. So this one, pay attention to. All right, so let me get outside the plane one more time. Now the fun thing is you're not going to be able to, ooh, look at that. We got red lights in the engines. Ooh. All right, so let's just get rid of things. All right, well, we're off the GPU, fuel pump. off the ACU, off the loader, and off the LSU. Now we'll go to airplane. For now, let's leave the main door open. But everything else will close. Okay, so in that case, we are just about ready to go. We just have the alignment to do. Where are we at? 5 minutes. Okay. Making sure everything looks good. Oh, by the way, who has had this cold front come through in the United States? Woo, very nice. Very nice air behind it. Just wish we had some rain here in St. Louis, but very nice behind it. All right, let's get down here and let's get the FMC all squared away. All right, position, here lies so. Coordinates, route, K, Mike, Tango, Charlie. All right, we actually should, and we're hoping we didn't screw that up. KMTC 01. Now, this guy here, several flights back with it, kept putting the company route up here in flight number. Goes in the company route, so that's why it's called a company route. It always kept telling me it's wrong. I'm like, no, you're not. So anyway, we are today reach 1318. All right, first thing I'm going to do is figure out what runway we blast off. 23 right. That sounds about right. Yeah, 23 right. I'm trying to remember from the days when I flew out of the Aero Club here. No SIDS, so execute. Route. Oh, my bad legs. All right, now we're going to bring in CHOTS. Okay, actually I want to do a couple things here. We'll put the weather on it. Looks like lightning in the area. And let's turn on ATC on here as well. Okay. So you can see here's where the lightning, man, if we just had a radar. Oh well. Soon, hopefully. All right, so if you can see it's a pretty simple route. MAYZE will be our, we have an arrival? Oh, no, we don't. Sorry, I thought we had an arrival. It does say 3, so let's look at them. No, none. Okay. Like how I showed you your route and where those stars were emanating from. All right, we'll deal with the arrival in a, well, we have to now, I'm sorry. So we are planning runway 1, which is 320. That's a good, is that a good runway? Oh, I thought they had a cross. Good. Oh, index, MTC. Oh, and we can pick an ILS. What do we have? Are you kidding me? We get it that easy? Okay, we'll take it. We'll take it from final. So we'll come off MAYZE. Hang on, let me kind of back out here. And just fly direct to Cirrus and straight in on the ILS. How about that? I love it when a plan comes together. Runway 1, no transitions, execute. That's kind of weird because it did have at least one transition. Huh. Okay. Unless it's because of my route. Yeah, doubt it. All right. So we got the route in. And we can just go next page and go, oh, look at that. Let's go back. MAYZE, we'll just go to Cirrus. We can always change up when they tell us, if they tell us. Okay, let's get charts out of the way. That went pretty simple. All right, now. So there you go. Rod is where we're going to start. JECA, MAYZE, Cirrus, LaJoie Airport. Don't believe me? See. And then out to SQYRS. Okay, back to route. Go to perf. All right. Let's bring Sim Toolkit one more time in here with Sim Brief up. All right. Now, I've told you many a times you can use this performance and tools to get the numbers for your flight. Or you can use takeoff performance upper. Difference between them. Performance, if you click the airplane over here, performance and tools, you got to put all the information in. From takeoff weight to airports and this and that. Takeoff performance will just that. Boom. Put you right on the page. With performance and tools, you'll have the gradient of the runway. You will not in takeoff performance, okay? So that's the drawbacks. Okay, just verify everything's right. Now, before we do this, we got to click 0 fuel weight, verify it. Close enough. Reserve. Oh, there's something I need to do. Hang on, we'll do that together. Close. Drop down here to briefing preview. Now, if you're on default, what I call default flight plan picture, you don't want it in like American or United. You don't care. Hey, I get it. Probably 95% of you care less what these really look like. I've actually seen them. They're kind of cool. They are kind of difficult, though, to figure what you need out in some airline formats. But in default, they're all piece of cake. Meant to be. Meant for us who don't do this for a living. All right, so if you're in one of those other ones, you'll have to work from fine RES. Oops, sorry about that. And alternate right above it. You'll see it right there and basically drop the last two numbers in each field and put a decimal. So 4.4, 5.4, which means 9.8, right? Sorry, I'm sorry. I know you all wanted math stopped. Welcome to aviation. It's 9. Oh, and by the way, if you don't want to do the math on this one, come down to FMS info, fine res plus altitude equals 9,859 feet. That's what that is. Again, drop those last two, 9.8. That's simple. That's what we're going to put in. 9.8. Yeah, this isn't fancy like Zebo or like your stuff over in the other flight sim community. It's the old school way. Okay, today's cruise altitude. I think we might be able to get it right where we're at. Just give me a second. I don't normally use this one, so cruise will be at 80. I don't see an altitude. not there. Hang on. No, we're not wanting. Ah, here we go. Oh, they didn't put it there either. You know what? Just hide it. Go up here. Oh, initial altitude 25,000. Double check your. Yeah, we can do that. 199 miles. Okay. 25,000. 250. Boom. 80, we said. Boom. Now, cruise wind. As you look at that chart, you can see it. Average wind, 250 at 61. Wow. That's pretty good winds. Now, for step size, you can put that in. You can leave it. It don't matter. I just put 2,000. Technically, I believe if you were to... Other than flight factor, I believe if you put VATSIM, it's the same thing, 2,000 foot increments. What a step climb is, as you climb on longer distance runs and your weight comes down, you'll be given, you can then step up. You're light enough to get up to the next altitude and enjoy better winds, maybe better weather, less turbulence, stuff like that. That's what's, and they basically help. For instance, and I said this a couple of days, about a week ago, you can take a 747-200. I believe it's 5,500 miles. You all can do the check and verify me. From Los Angeles to Narita. Now, you got some things against you there. The big one being you're going west or east. No, you're going west into the general prevailing wind. Okay. But at a certain weight limit, cargo planes especially, and I do know other aircraft, can make the crossing. I say the 747-200 particularly. Back in the day when I started flying it here on the flight sims, I looked it up at Boeing's website, and they had this neat little circle showing you the range. It was like 5,000 miles. It was outside the range Boeing told you. However, through the art of step climbing your way up, it's easily made. Now, there's other things that come into play to help with that, in that you'd be redispatched, so they would, you know, there are things dispatch would do to help. It's still fully legal, but they're also checking to make sure you're not coming in on quiet hours. Your fuel is going to be adequate, otherwise they dump you in Anchorage for a top off and away you go. It's not unheard of. All right, we're off to the takeoff page. Real quick, get this bird ready to rock and roll. Let's go back to the takeoff performance. Now, you notice 737 drivers, no N1 page. Straight to takeoff. How it should be. CG, perfect. There's our trim for the flight. Now we are going to go to page 2. Runway wind. Look at that chart. You'll see it right on it. Bear with me a sec. Oh no, I don't want that page. Okay, there we go. Runway wind is right up here, 330 at 4, right under runway and weather to the right. Tree. Whoa. What is it? Oh, 4? Okay. I was going to say, maybe runway 5 might be the better one. Okay. And our slope, I'm going to just take it from Sim Toolkit. I'll show you how you do it real quick. Close. Close. All right, over here, here's our load sheet for today. I always find it funny. Get your laugh in. Passengers on a cargo plane. Well, Yeah, we can haul, but not 170 people. 80, 25,000. No, go to the next one. Detailed flight route. Come down FFO to slope 0.15. Could make it 0.2 or down 0.1. It's really right on that, fence. I'm going to go 0.2. All right, now how do we put that in there? Okay, it kind of shows you. Instead, we're going to go D 0.2. Now, this isn't like the 737 where there'd be a slash and then the heading. They're not worried about the heading. They're kind of guessing you, the pilot, really should know that. Okay, and same page will tell you the heading. Also, back at the takeoff prediction, calculate. It too is telling you 233. 2-3. Oh, wait. Claire, we need the temperature, not the heading. Come on, Captain, 21 degrees. And then we go back. Oh, I went the wrong way. Take off. Now, we are going to look at this here. So we're doing a DTO2 54 degrees. Okay, so 54 goes first. Dang, nabbit. There we go. And DTO next. That's all you got to put. And you'll see here in a minute why. And on there you see flaps 5. Boom. You're going, where's the numbers, Captain? Gotta turn it on. Oh, I can hear it. Oh. All right, and we're looking at 125, 128, 131 versus, we're going to go with sim brief. So hang on. 125. One, 2, 8. And the differences are, in our case, because aircraft weight. Okay, we'll just go with theirs. Now, you could have been perfectly safe with these, by the way. You really, and I'm going to go with 132 because it's higher. All right, it would work. It will fly just as gracefully as it will here. Remember, these numbers were set up with a payload about 3,000 pounds heavier than what we had. And we basically did it off zero fuel weight. So that's why the discrepancy. And that, my friends, is the FMC now loaded. Get everything cleared away here. All right, like I said, this will be a short flight. Let me just real quick look at sim brief real quick. Close. 199 miles, roughly 1 hour. Actually, they're calling it 38 minutes in flight. I'm going to call it 1 hour. So we'll see who's right. All right, now the checklist I run does not do what well, let me finish it up here first. Okay, so to the upper panel, and we're going to get out of here. Upper panel, yaw dampers, we're not going to touch. Those of you familiar with flight sims know some aircraft in any sim you're in, if you turn the yaw dampers on, throws the rudder. So we're just not playing it, and it does in Flight Factor. C1, C2 already on. Demands already on. Cargo heats already on. Engine starts. Today is what is today? Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll be on the odd numbers. It's an odd numbered day. That's how I figure it up. Or you could do both. It's your call. Let's see. Window heats are on. Passenger signs going on. And cabin altitude, landing altitude, it's 580 feet. MSL there will be on number 1. Again, same reasoning I use. And equipment cooling, auto, cabin lights set. Trim air on, left right recircs on, cabin temperatures, auto, and did I miss one? Oh, I did. And cabin temp, which is the middle, on auto. Folks, we're ready to crank them up. Also, here's what we'll do. Let's take a look outside one more time. Not much to see. It is dark. Thunderstorm coming in. All right, let's, it's already here. Back to plugins. Ground. We are fully on the APU, right? Yes. Doors, we'll just get those all closed up first. Close all. In case we missed any. Ground, air stair away. Chocks will stay on for just a little bit longer. See how we're doing with weather. Okay, we're gonna go. All right, beacon on, chocks out. You're going, whoa, 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 why are chocks coming out now? Folks, we are not being pushed back. Beacons on. APU's on. All right, let's go up top here, get those fuel pumps on. I can't tell you for certain, but I think you have to have them on in this plane. I think they've taken it to that level. We had some troubles here and there. That's why I say that. Packs have to be off over 40. And all doors closed, ground equipment clear, left, right packs off, tow, ACARS. ACARS is up and running. And because of the debacle yesterday, this guy is going to make sure he is on the Sim Air Force flight map. We yesterday's flight, if you didn't catch it, was Las Vegas to Detroit. I started the application, got the book flight loaded, and for some reason did not click start flight, or maybe missed it and thought I did. Halfway through the flight, oh my gosh, I'm not, no. Yeah, it's a 4-hour flight, something like that, yeah. And a pretty good landing on top of it. Yeah. Oh well. So, we've already double checked, we're on, and Smart Cars 3 is running. So let's get these engines cooking, shall we? Now again, they are going to start rather quickly. So don't, get in any kind of hurries. Oh, we do have one thing out of order I have not done. 132 will be 142. 233. And no ATC means we'll go to flight level 250. Unless they come up, then we'll check. Well, there is no SID. So, yeah. All right, and flight directors on. Okay, auto brakes off, gear down, 3 green, and we're ready to crank them. All right. Starting up number 1. Okay, it's already at the at the line so we can hit the fuel. See what I mean? It's quick. So those of you that like to get up and get going quickly, this is your plane. Oh, hang on a second. Normally I set that and I did not. Okay. All right, we are up and running. Now, this aircraft, these Gen Connects automatically, I didn't turn it on. Oops. Yeah, so if you have it set to on with the word off, like you see here, then when they crank up, they automatically come on. And you'll see that here. You'll see it flicker. All right, so we are spooled up. Give it just a couple seconds here, even though it just, I mean, it's so quick, it's amazing. And we'll double check everything. Unfortunately, we can't check the electrical page like we can Airbus. I don't know how to do it if there was a way. All right, up to the top. All right, so you can see now both say on. Perfect. We're on the gens. Hydraulics on. Anti-ice. You know what? With a thunderstorm underway, let's go engine ice. Just in case of hail. Left and right packs. Wait a minute. Do I need the bleeds on first? Yes. Packs are on. Bleed for the APU off. And the APU select off. All right. And that, folks, gets her going. Now, in the checklist, this is where you would set the middle panel. So, auto brakes reject right here. Taxi lights, altimeters, left, right VORs are in auto. Flight directors are on. State trim needs to be 3.9. Flaps 5. And one more check. Everything's good. All right, we're ready to go. Now, this is when we would set the radar and all of that up. We're not. One last thing to do we did not do yesterday. Same thing. Yeah, I'd like to do it nice and easy to make sure I can baby it. Meaning when I take off, I can make subtle corrections and all of that without having to worry about it. SATEC/Logitech, whatever this thing's now called. I bought it under SATEC. It likes to snap on me, the aileron roll portion of your axis. And, oh, I hate that. All right, and then we'll just kind of... All right, we're ready to go, I think. I don't think we have anything else. Parking brake, taxi to runway. One last item. What is our CTAF? 127.8. Remember, we use CTAF in this country. All right, let me flip these around. I hate that. We're looking at 127.8. Really? Oh, let's double check. It's .CTAF and then the ICAO. Now, military airports, oh, 126, not, why is that different? Ooh. Granted, that is what majority of towers are out there, but why would it say something different here? Interesting. Okay, everything else is set, ready to go. Let's do it. All right, Patterson traffic. Reach 1813 heavy, taxi to 23 right. And away from base ops we go. Growing up, I lived very close to the fence here. Every morning, at least during the week, and of course guard weekends or reserve weekends, F4s would wake me up. Oh, great sound. Great day. All right, we're going to have to turn here. I just realized. Oh, no, that'll work. We can take that shortcut. Yeah, we'll take it. Let me bring in charts real quick. Little time to go back in time. Trying to figure out what the heck this is. Well, I never taxied over here, so I don't know. But anyway, there's the map of Wright-Patterson. I said I flew out of here. I flew in the Aero Club. It was one of the bigger ones in the Air Force. Travis, I think, was second. And we were up right off 23 right. There was a little hangar set up here. We had all 20 some airplanes parked there. It was really fun. I miss those days, and unfortunately they're now closed and removed from the map. That second runway was pretty much built for them. I mean, granted, it does help a little bit with the military, but it also freed the airport up to allow the use of the Aero Club. So, yeah, I was just right over the fence line there. Huh. Yeah, kind of fun. Like I said, memory road. Now we're going down taxiway road. All right, takeoff checks. All right, parking brakes off, thrust will advance to 70%, engage toga. Okay, we haven't talked about the keys, special keys on here. Altimeter. The right here is a key that if you click this will set the first officer's altimeter to yours. Unfortunately, you have to set that one. Toga is this guy right next to speed. So when we get all geared up, ready to go, that's what we'll do. Now, I mentioned we got to do one other thing. Click takeoff, click 2. And that puts us now derated takeoff 2. All right, here we go. Turning up for 2-3 to the right. Passing over 2-3 left. And our little taxiway was like right off this. Yeah, you know, those Aero Club planes didn't need 12,000 feet. Actually, we probably could have taken off on 7,000, but we'll go to the big runway to be safe. But yeah, right over there, this area right on the screen here was where the Aero Club was. It's a shame it's gone. Wright-Patterson Air Force Base area traffic. Reach 1813 at KC-46, departing 23 right to the north. Across the way, those are familiar with Wright-Patterson. This was a SAC base in the day, and B-52s were over there. On alert. All right, let's do it again. Thrust lever set, engage, 15% nose up. What an addition the KC-46 is. All right, clear for takeoff. Reach 1813. Oh, by the way, the Air Force would probably never even let me take off in this kind of weather, but it's the flight sim. All right, toga. $80 knots. V1, rotate. Positive rate, gears up. All right, so we're turning to a heading of 140. There's 10,000, so we can. Now, why did I turn south? Dayton International Airport, I don't even know if it's still international or not, would have been right in between us climbing through. Not a smart move. Pretty sure controllers would either take us past or around and up this way. That's just the reason why I did it. Oh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Very cool. Full I don't know if it's still the super moon or not. That is really cool. All right, and are we on 050 yet? Once we wings level, we'll go direct to Rod. Couple of ways you can do it. You can just click and then click again, or go to direct, click, enter, execute, and then here's the trick though. Somebody's done this a couple times. LNAV. All right, we're leveled off. Welcome aboard Flying with Mike. We're on our way to Selfridge Air National Guard Base in Michigan. Not bad for getting out of Dayton. Headed for just north of Detroit, Rock City. Okay, 55 miles till we top and drop. All right, let's pull up some weather, shall we? Okay, winds are 330 at 9. Runway 1 is a good choice. 10 miles, thunderstorms, or sorry, scattered thunder showers, 7,000 overcast, and looks pretty good to go in there, so. Okay, Saris at 3,000, actually 2,700, so $70 miles out. We need to do a nice, easy descent in. And here's why night flying is not one of my favorites. We'll be following I-75 northbound. Oh yeah, old stomping grounds, both in the truck and when I was in high school. All right, we're pretty close. All right, so let's set for safety. Uh, 10,000 feet. Really, with this, ooh, nice lightning in front of us. Wow, that was pretty cool. All right, so let's go to descent. We can descend now, and that's what we'll do. All right, we'll set the ILS on one. Okay. All right, and by the way, that is what this radio is in between. That is your ILS. You don't have to worry about setting your courses or anything up here. It's automatic, working off the avionics suite. All right, so piece of cake. Hopefully. Hopefully, we say. Wow, that's a really good moonlit scene there. I like it. Don't like that we seem nose down. All right, so We are taking our sweet, sweet time. That's okay, I guess. Because from MAYZE to the final approach is 70 miles. Oh yeah, let's take our sweet time down. Let's see if I can't work a little magic here. All right, that's not as bright, so we'll take it as a win. All right, let's go with Selfridge. What's your oops, wrong one? 3002. All right, you see this altitude disagrees message? All right, I am going to zoom in and get it set right. Now, it went away, but what it meant was this altimeter, hang on, the captain's altimeter differs from here. We're at 3002, they're at 2992. This is where I told you we clicked the button. And now we're both together. Now, if it was like 3006 or, it takes a big difference for the error message to show up. And we'll get our backup. And I'm going to go brakes 3. All right. And we're now at 16,000 feet, 70 miles. Yeah, we'll get it down to 10,000 level and then slow it and get ready for the approach. Like I said, a short flight. Get the KC-46 some chance to fly with some Air Force. I usually am found in the Zebo only now because of the radar working. But Level Up, they are working on an update, pretty substantial update coming that will incorporate the X-Plane 12 3.0 radar upgrades, weather upgrades, all of that into it. And I'll let you go over to Level Up and see what's coming. I'm not gonna give it away. Sorry, no spoiler alerts here. but it's coming someday. I don't know when. It looks like, to me, quite a bit to do. But, you know, these guys, they got this stuff down. They know what they're doing. They can probably get it quicker than I would be able to guess. All right, but yeah, I thought about it with the Zebo. And we've been flying it quite a bit, so I thought, you know what? I came very close to firing up the Herc, but I really just not thrilled about that one. So that's why it didn't fly. But the KC-46, even though we can't fly with weather radar, terrain radars, other than that, we're pretty good. I mean, it's a good aircraft, flight factor. I just wish they would get in and, one, figure out what's causing this, and so we can start flying with the radar when they get that upgraded. Splash screen really looks nice. Wish it was true. And before people ask, will I put the stream on Discord again? No. I think that's where my hangups were. In the last flight, I talked about performance issues with some applications. I think it was right there. So dual streaming, YouTube and X-Plane or Twitch. I don't think my system's gonna take to it very nicely. All right. Yeah, we're definitely on the Sim Air Force map, and we're coming into 10,000 feet. All right, I am going to go ahead. First off, Cleveland, not online. Okay. K.CTAF KMTC 120 150. Does that match the chart? Yes, it does. Don't know why Wright-Patt did. That's weird. Whoops, down here. We said 120. So again, hope y'all are having a great day. Hope those of you that have the TOLUS A319 or the A320 add-on, oh, that CEO is so much fun to fly. Highly, highly, highly recommended. However, just realize you gotta have the TOLUS A320 Neo first. Make sure it's up to date. It will not show the CO area in your ISCS to put the serial number and information in unless you've updated the A320 Neo. Once you do that, you can plug your serial numbers in and truck on. Great aircraft. Still think there's some weight issues to work out, but oh, what a plane. And I need to start screaming down. Oh, that's a good sign. And if you get a chance on YouTube, I believe the Northwest flight is available. And you can see that 4-hour flight. Fun. I love that airplane. I think it's great. And it'll make it fun now that I can fly Allegiant in the right aircraft type. Okay, we're still accelerating. Which at this point is not bad. All right. Ooh, nice lightning again. All right, we're V card set. We're set up here on the dash, and we're ready for the approach as soon as we get slowed up. How far out is that ILS? 10 miles. So let's go ahead. Bring her down to 180. This is the other fun part, getting this beastie to slow down. I don't know if you all are hearing it, but boy, it is crackling thunder, lightning. It's really doing a good job here. All right, we are good for the localizer. As soon as we join, I'm going to slow to what was it, 123? No. We're going to slow to like 140. With winds like this, I'm going to keep speed up. Okay, we're at flaps 20. When we join, we'll be 10 miles out. And I'll be curious if we see the airport. The only other downside is the auto pilot can't be deselected here. You have to do it from the center of the panel. All right. Okay. I'm looking. Oh, we do have some weather in between us and there. Let's see if the METAR's changed. 15 minutes ago, broken at 85, few clouds, 6,000, 10-mile visibility. We'll see. We'll see how X-Plane paints that. Oh, looks like the glide slope came alive too. Ah, that's why I went to 30 too quick. Okay. All right, let's get our head up and into the game here. Fly the flight director, as they say. I got nothing out there. Technically, I should be able to see it. But we have minimums of 3/4 of a mile, RVR 40, 293. Everything shows legal. Okay, glide slope. Could we say a potential auto land?
$1,000. $500.
Holy crap. I don't know if this airplane will auto land. Holy crap, there we go.
Minimums.
Sink rate.
100.
Pull up.
40.
Pull up.
30. 20. 10.
Shut that horn up. Oh my gosh. That was like near minimums. Okay, we're coming off at Lima. Oh, airplane, easy, you're on the ground. I'm gonna leave the lights on. Holy Toledo. All right, I don't know who's out there. Did anyone hear what altitude we popped out when that runway showed up? I want to say it was above 200. I don't see any security cars coming out at me. Oh, this is an interesting taxiway. See how this looks. All right, well, welcome to Selfridge Air National Guard Base. A little bit of research I did on this base. I believe now A-10s are here. I believe, or I'm not sure if they replaced them. But yeah. Okay. Huh. Let's see here. All right, APU is on. All right. Wow. Okay, hang on a second. All right. 557, the airline got us at. 1.4 Gs. Yeah, laughable. Yeah, this, yeah, rough. Just rough. All right. And they show us flying offline. Why can't I change that? All right. So we have made it in here. Um, by the hair of our chinny chin chin. 50-minute flight. And now we just basically reverse. Chocks. Stairs. GPU is now turned on. We can use it. All right, so we'll go over here, ground. Now the cool thing is if you forget something, it'll tell you. All right, they are now unloading. All right. With that, let's kind of wrap things up here, kind of go around the table, see what our trackers got us at. Again, there's our route out. Fun times in here. Yeah, they're pretty happy. They're just happy to be here. Wow, that was horrible. That was horrible. That is the one of the few times I've actually had near minimums on approach not reported. All right, so here we go. 564, 130 knots, 1.6 Gs. I'll take that as a correct. All right, and block time 210. We did it in 40 minutes. Cool. That was just bizarre. All right, now we'll get ElevaTech out of here. The official scorekeeper is Sim Toolkit. Not going to say yay or nay, they're always right, but they're usually pretty good. 642 at 129, 1.6 Gs. So, yeah, a hard landing. And now, this actually explains the picture a lot better. Look at this, was probably right there when we came in, or is now coming in. Oh my gosh, what a flight. Beautiful flight en route with the Lightning. Brutal flight on final. All right, here's where the official scorekeeper comes in. You can see again the routing. Here's what you're used to. Okay, you don't learn anything from here. Let's see where we actually touch down. Again, flight factor does make it difficult in that you got to click over on the panel and either on the throttles first, get the throttle under control, then, you know, do it, whatever. But anyway, yeah, we should have stuck. Wow. All right, so we landed 1,000 feet down the runway, right on the aiming points. Woohoo, 15 feet off. So overall, not a bad landing. When you look at it here. When you look at it over on this side, yeah, it starts looking a little, could we have touched an engine? Nose down, possibly, on the nose gear landing. Oh yeah, the aircraft's gonna have to be looked at. But yeah, here's Selfridge. With the KC-135s down here. Okay, we're like over here. Yeah, we're right here. So, anyway, overall, not too bad. Actually, a pretty good depiction of this airport, even though it is nighttime. That does not help. The aircraft is unloaded, and maintenance is now coming out to check it out. So, all right, folks, let me get Sim Toolkit out of the way. That was a fun flight. Again, oh, let's be nice and turn off the beacon. All right, and I think everything else can be put to bed. All right, well, you all have a fantastic night. Not sure if we'll be on tomorrow. More than likely not. Thursday's another iffy day. Never know. Friday, as you've seen. If you haven't seen, we'll get you that information right now. It's still planned for an 11 a.m. Central Daylight Time departure on a flights we haven't flown in a while. The African Airbus tours from Eswatini to Nambia. You can get more details up on I believe on the schedule. So, but anyway, that's for sure on Friday. Possibility Thursday always looms of another flight. We'll see. It really depends how I feel coming home from work. And, of course, if the CEO has other things planned, and hey, that takes priority. So, all right, well, you all have a great Wednesday hump day. And we're getting over the hump. The weekend's right around the corner. And you all have a blessed day. Today's verse of the day: those who belong to Christ have nailed their natural evil desires to his cross and crucified them there. Pretty straightforward verse. Those who belong to Christ, the Christians, those who profess that they are Christian, have nailed their natural evil desires. Those are things, folks, just because you're a Christian, you don't. You can still sin. You still have those temptations, those desires you had when you were not a Christian. And we're to nail them. We are to, as Jesus told us, take up our cross daily. Nail them to the cross. Crucify them there. Paul at Ephesus said, put on the new self. Do not grab the old self. So, like I said, those who belong to Christ have nailed their natural evil desires to his cross, Jesus Christ's cross, and crucified them there with him. So keep that in mind. And when the one thing as Christians we have to fall back on is pray to God. Prayer is our number one weapon. All you got to do is go to Ephesians 6 and read about the armor of God. The best weapon we have is prayer. So, I hope you all enjoy the week. God bless you all. And we will see you for sure Friday, and who knows, maybe another time during the week. Have a great week.